Hey guys, so you might have seen our videos on our all Disney official princesses bad role models, which we split into two parts. Part one on Snow White, Cinderella, Aurora, Ariel, Belle, and Jasmine, and part two is on Pocahontas, Milan, Tiana, Rapunzel, Merida, and Moana. If you haven't watched them, then check it out right now. When we recorded this debate, the total footage added up to just under 3 hours. And the part one and part two videos only add up to just under 50 minutes of footage. So we've decided to release a separate video for each of the princesses to show you all our points for each princess. So we aren't missing anything out. Hope you guys enjoy it. For this video, the princess we'll be focusing on is Belle.
Hi. So Beauty and the Beast, one of our favorite classics. But something I picked up is Belle during her first appearance on screen, and when she was breaking into a song, the first thing we hear about her is that she's disgusting where she lives and people live there. She also feels like she's stuck and she's born in a little town where people doing nothing but doing their jobs every day. But just to let you know, Belle doesn't have a job, and she says she does nothing with her time. She feels like she doesn't really communicate with these villagers. She said, like, they think she's odd because she reads books. But I think they think she's odd because she doesn't really talk to them. Like, she complains about them, how they don't really engage with her about when she's reading book or when she's telling them a story. They're just doing their jobs, and she feels like she has no one to talk to. But truthfully, she doesn't really try in the film. Like, she goes on, like in one scene, she talks to a baker, and he interrupts her saying like he's like talks to someone about like doing the business, and then she just walks away feeling like, okay, he doesn't want to talk. So if someone just ignores her just for 1 second, just because they're doing their job, she feels like he's not engaged. But she's not really trying. She just walks up alone. So I just feel like Belle isn't really the type of person who's very engaging to people. It's not the town is the problem. I think it's kind of her in a way. Like, she kind of looks down on the villagers because they don't have the same thing in common. Like, they're not very interested in books like her. Not I'm saying that she shouldn't be interested. I mean, it's great that she reads, but she kind of feel like she thinks that they look at her weirdly because she reads books, but that's not it. She just thinks that they are the weird ones because they're not very engaging. But it's truth. She's the one that doesn't really engage much with them. If you know.
I agree. I think that song, that the Belle song, I think is quite kind of a bit rude. Some of the stuff she says. She says she goes around town and she, everybody's busy working. They've got to provide for themselves. They've got to provide for their families. And she actually like she was above them because she could read. But we got to remember that in that time, like majority of people just couldn't read. They were illiterate. Reading wasn't
especially women.
Yeah, it wasn't what they focused on. They focused on making a living and everything. So I mean, what I was thinking is like she could have taught someone how to read. They would have had something to bond about.
Exactly. That's what they did in the live action one. That's what I kind of liked in that. Like, she was teaching a young girl, sending her a message, like repeating her knowledge.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, but saying that though, there are some good points, surprisingly. Sorry. So we see that true love is when you're willing to sacrifice yourself for another. So Belle sacrifices her freedom to take her father's place as the beast's prisoner her father could be like set free, and then the beast sacrifices his happiness and lets Belle go to take care of her father. So the whole thing was basically sacrificing, and what we can see is that sometimes
that love is sacrifice.
Yeah, sometimes you might need to sacrifice something, but at the end of the day, something else might pop up, and it'll make you more happier, maybe. Like, not everything can happen at the same time. And I guess probably one of the best messages is that she does find the beast rude, and like, he was spoiled and he's got a temper and everything, but she sees what's inside, and she sees that that's what counts. She takes the time and patience, and she has that open mind to like actually discover who he was. That whole point, where he couldn't like use his cutlery, she kind of like, she accepts him. She's like, don't worry about it, even though he was trying to make an effort for her. So just seeing what's inside of other people, which I think is something that's like kind of a common theme among the Disney films. And another one was that the you were right, the village people did think she was odd. They were like, what is wrong with this woman, and she's just kind of have to say she's kind of
Emily, stop saying
I'm sorry. I know.
I'm sitting there.
I say it
like
so many
chuckling.
times. Oh no, I even know.
It's fine. I knew you didn't notice, and I was like,
Okay.
It's fine. We always say, I say like a lot, so.
exactly. I'm sure I've said something every time I've been speaking.
Can I get to
it's
the
just
first
funny.
point when you said about in those times people weren't very respectful of women, especially if they're trying to show off that they're very smart, they have
Wait,
the
hold on,
same
I never said that.
No, but you said, but I think Ellie said something about that, like they didn't really respect women, like when they were reading and all that. During those times,
women weren't necessarily taught to read. They were taught to clean and everything, or like.
So you're saying like in those days, people kind of looked down on women. So would you also say that Belle was a bit of a hypocrite? So in those days, men looked down on women, suggesting they should clean and cook in the kitchen. But Belle is actually looking down on the villagers, saying that they're less smart than she is now. So would you think that's do you think that she's a bit of a hypocrite?
Yeah, I can see that.
But here's something I learned, and it's a thing now, and I think people have heard it before. So some people will call what they have with each other is love. Some will call it Stockholm syndrome. And for all those who don't know what it is, it's when if someone's being captured and that person falls in love with that capturer. And I kind of actually see that for Belle. So she gets taken by the beast. Like she does volunteers. She did volunteer she sacrificed her life for her father's, but she didn't try to escape. I know like her word is her bond, but still, I mean, you wouldn't imagine trying to live there forever. So she wasn't thinking of trying to escape or trying to leave, trying to get her life back, because we know the beast was kind of cruel in the beginning. So if there was like a cruel feeling doing that, you obviously were trying to escape. But for Belle, she kind of follows the example of Stockholm syndrome, where she falls in love with her capturer.
But I thought she did escape. I thought she did, didn't she? Didn't she have that encounter with the wolves, and then the beast comes and saves her?
Yeah, she did, but she went back.
Yeah, because she knew, like, if she was to go back again, she'd probably get eaten. Would you rather stay inside?
No, but then she leaves again, and then she wasn't eaten at the time. When the beast let her go, she wasn't eaten then.
Yeah. And there was probably a reason for it. There was probably a different path. She just ran. She didn't know where she was going. Like, it was so secluded. It was so dark. It was snowing, wasn't it? I'm pretty sure I remember there being snow. So, yeah, I mean, I can understand what you were saying, but I mean, honestly, like, escaping, it wouldn't have been easy. I'm not saying that you should give up. I'm just saying, like, it wouldn't have been easy and straightforward. Like, maybe if it was somewhere a bit more closer to other villages or something, it would have been okay. But it was literally in the middle of nowhere, and it was dark, and yeah.
No,
And-
I understand like the mess of like whenever someone did a bad thing, you could still try to look the good in them. But what he did was basically locked a young, vulnerable girl in his castle. I wouldn't forgive him for that, even if he tries to apologize. And she's fell in love with it. I mean, I mean,
Do you
would
think
even
it's
call that-
right? Sorry, I was just gonna say, do you think it's right to go into someone else's home unannounced? Even though, you know, he was in a panic, you know, her father and everything. I just don't know if that was the right thing to do. And that
Okay,
is
so
basically
you would
where
say the
whole
same about
issue-
Snow White entering the dwarf's
Yeah,
home.
which is what I said. That was one of the reasons why she wasn't a good role model.
Mm.
So I feel like that is probably one of the issues. And I mean, I don't think keeping her father captive was going to solve anything or anything, but he was a beast at that point, you know. He hadn't had any social interaction really. I feel like he was probably just locked away in a room. He didn't really do much, you know. And then her father comes in, and you know,
Technically, he locked himself in, like because he was a bee. He didn't feel like he can go out to the world with himself because of what he looked
But
like.
he wouldn't have been able to, because he was a beast. When they found out what he was like, they went straight to kill him.
yeah, Gaston
Okay, but-
literally calls him a monster.
If you say you love someone, at that point, you're gonna have to feel a bit attractive to your partner in a way.
Oh no, this is when it gets into all the bestiality and everything.
Yeah, that's the word, not love.
Yeah,
bestiality.
At the end of the day, that wasn't what they were trying to get across. They were trying to get across that love comes with struggles. You have to get to know the person. It's what's on the inside that counts rather than the outside. And of course they portrayed it in like a pretty bad way. Okay, bestiality does come into form there, and if you pick it apart, it's gonna seriously question the ethics of Disney. But at the end of the day, what they were trying to prove was a good thing. When it's a kid, they're not going to think about that. They're just going to think about, oh, okay, someone's going to love me for me, not what I look like. Because at the end of the day, he was a man, but he was cursed to look like that until someone loved him for him.
But why did he just say that to her?
Because I don't know, he was ashamed. Maybe he wasn't able to tell her.
She wouldn't have believed him. I know if someone had told me, I
Exactly.
would have gone, "You having a laugh?"
Yeah,
No, but
right,
thought-
mate. Jog
hold
on.
on. You wouldn't see like a lion / bull / gorilla creature in a castle anywhere. And if you could find that, you could just believe anything, wouldn't you?
I don't know.
I mean, if he started talking, then I would be like, okay, maybe.
Just reminds me of
But
that scene
I
where
probably would
Tiana,
have thought I'm off my rocker. So
she wasn't ashamed to be herself, you know. She embraced
Yeah.
who she was. So even though, you know, she literally went out and, you know, she read and, you know, and I guess it's thing is that we see that the villagers don't really know her. They don't really understand her. And I guess the final message would be that, you know, not everybody's gonna like you. And you've just got to understand that and you've got to move on, you know. You've got to just embrace yourself. Don't hide yourself because someone else doesn't like you, because there is going to be someone out there who will.
there's always going to be someone out there that doesn't like you for who you are. But at the end of the day, you will find the right people who will embrace you for you and like you and all your things that you like to do. You'll find
Oh.
someone with the right things in common. And the people of the town weren't that far.
I just want to say one bad point as well. So she says, you know, in her song, "I want adventure in the great wide somewhere," but she actually settles, you know. She doesn't actually go for an adventure, you know.
Well, I mean, we don't see the future. Her and the Beast could travel and go places, but
I
she does
doubt
get
it.
married.
Because he's royalty. Most likely, the most traveling he'd do is probably to another royal castle or something.
But
So,
at least they're still somewhere. There's multiple castles in different places. We don't know what happened after that. And he respected her wishes a lot. So I reckon they did travel. And plus, even though he is royalty, his was a forgotten kingdom. So it's not going to be as out there as anything. So I reckon they had a lot more freedom than most royal couples would have.
We hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give this video a like, thumbs up, comment, subscription, everything. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell to stay up to date with our content, and make sure to share our Disney debate videos to any Disney fans you know of. Please leave us a comment below to let us know what other Disney debates you would like to see, or if there's any other specific Disney content you'd like us to do. Till next time, bye from all of us at the Debate Hut. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.